Hey everybody! Today I'm going to give you my review of the new MCX rifle from SIG. I headed straight to Cabela's when I heard they had received the first shipments, and I was really excited to actually see this one on the shelf. The MCX is a piston-driven AR style rifle. It uses a short stroke piston and has an auto-regulating gas system, which allows you to shoot suppressed or unsuppressed without having to make any adjustments. It also has a quick change barrel, along with the ability to switch calibers between 5.56, 300 blackout, and 7.62 by 39. This one came in 300 blackout with a conversion kit for 5.56, but I've already converted it to 5.56. I haven't tried 300 blackout yet, mainly because of ammo availability and price. Plus I didn't want to take on another caliber. But I have been interested in trying it, so now I have an excuse, and I'm really anxious to see how quiet it is suppressed. The MCX came with this flash hider for the 5.56, but I replaced it with the new 51 tooth battle comp, so I could shoot it suppressed with this AAC M4 2000. The 300 blackout barrel also came with a flash hider that I removed so you could see the taper on the barrel. The taper helps keep thread-on suppressors from loosening while shooting. And here you can see the piston system, and the caliber is marked on the front of the gas valve. I believe the upper and lower are made of 6061 aluminum, unless that has changed. And something that is really cool is all the user replaceable parts. The feed ramps, the forward assist housing, and the bolt cam pin travel path are all replaceable. It also has an AR style charging handle that actually catches on both sides of the upper. And it has replaceable steel latch pins on both sides, here and here. The charging handle is proprietary, and it is also ambidextrous. The MCX doesn't require a buffer tube, so it has a section of Picatinny rail on the rear of the receiver, which allows you to easily change to a different stock, either one from SIG or a standard AR stock. This MCX came with a folding stock, but SIG is also going to have a telescoping MP5 style stock and an adapter to accept standard AR stocks. I like folding stocks, but I don't think this one's very comfortable. It's also too long for me, so I definitely need an adjustable length stock. And folding it is difficult for me to do on camera, but it does fold to the left side. You just lift up on the stock and press down on the receiver to fold it. Here it is folded, and as you can see, you can also fire it while folded. It will unfold just by pulling it, but you can lift up on it the same way to make it easier to open and to relieve stress on the hinge points. The upper is compatible with standard AR lowers, so that's another thing that's great. You just have to use a lower receiver adapter that SIG offers, and this lower also uses standard AR triggers and safeties, which is awesome. All of the controls are ambidextrous except for the bolt release. It has an ambi safety, magazine release, charging handle, and ambi QD sockets on the lower receiver. It also has an integrated and large trigger guard, and it came with these flip-up iron sights. Another thing I like is this lever that they added to the bottom of the bolt release. Instead of pulling out on the standard bolt release here, you can push the bottom lever with your thumb, which makes it a little easier to lock the bolt back. Another awesome thing about the MCX is that SIG will be offering a larger diameter handguard so that you can use a short barrel and put your suppressor inside your handguard. That's great because it will protect your suppressor and allow you to use standard length handguards instead of limiting yourself to shorter lengths. They are all key mod right now, but hopefully M-lock will be an option. To remove the handguard, you just push out the pivot pin and it slides off really easy. There is a link on the bottom that secures when you push the pivot pin through. The handguard has rails here that slide into a channel on both sides of the upper. And there is a little tab on the rail on the upper receiver that slides into the rail on the handguard. I replaced the SIG sights with Magpul Pros, and I was a little worried about putting my front sight on the end of the Picatinny rail here because it is part of the removable handguard, but it actually locks up really solid and does not wobble at all. Now to change from 5.56 to 300 blackout, you have to change both the operating rod and the barrel. First, to change the operating rod, you remove the bolt carrier group that you can see has a nickel boron coating, which is also on the operating rod. And the caliber is also engraved on the top of each one. It has dual recoil springs on dual guide rods that are removable. You pull down on the left spring and remove the spring and guide rod from the spring plate. Then pull the firing pin retaining pin and remove the firing pin. Once you do that, you can remove the cam pin and pull out the bolt. Then remove the recoil spring assembly from the operating rod. Then you use a small punch to push a spring-loaded pin on the operating rod, which allows you to remove it. And here is the spring-loaded pin. From here you slide on the new operating rod from the left side where this groove is, and then you just reassemble everything. It does use a standard AR retaining pin, firing pin, bolt, and cam pin. The bolt carrier though is much shorter than on a standard AR, which you can see here. To change the barrel, you remove the bolt carrier group and the handguard and loosen the two T27 Torx screws here on the barrel clamp. The Torx screws are captive, so they stay in place and won't fall out when you loosen them. Then you can pull the barrel out. Then you take your new barrel and line up these two index pins with the notches in the upper receiver. Insert your new barrel and tighten down the barrel clamp screws to 60 inch-pounds. Then just slide on the handguard. So I have several different magazines I'll be using today, along with a few types of 5.56 and 223 ammo. I also have a few different brands of M855 that I'll be shooting. The ATF recently proposed a ban on M855 ammo, also referred to as green tip because of the green paint on the end of the bullet. M855 has been available to the public for decades, and technically it's not armor piercing, but that's what the ATF is claiming. I shoot a lot of this because it's been affordable and easy to come by, but even if you don't shoot with this type of ammo or rifle, we cannot allow them to ban M855 ammo, or they'll use it as a stepping stone to ban all 5.56 and 223 ammo. We can stop the ban if we all stand together, so please look at the description box below this video for links and more information on how to voice your disapproval. It ran great. I didn't have any malfunctions shooting suppressed or unsuppressed, and it ran perfectly with all the magazines I tested, which I will list down in the description box. I also did some shooting with this 1-to-6 power Trijicon VCOG and got a pretty decent group at 100 yards, even though I pulled one shot. It comes with a 2-point sling and a nice hard case, and I paid $18.99 for this one with the caliber conversion kit, which I think is a pretty good price for all that you get. The MCX is a really interesting design and seems very well thought out. It's definitely not just another AR. It does have a heavy trigger pull, which I measured at about 11 pounds, but I'll eventually replace the trigger. As one final thought, while I really like this rifle, I would prefer a side charging handle like on the ARX or ACR. That's easier for me to operate, and it gives you the option to customize your cheek rest. SIG actually showed a precision variant of this rifle at SHOT Show that they called the mid-range MCX, which had both the AR style charging handle and a side charging handle on the left side of the receiver, so I'll be curious if that will be compatible with this or be an option down the road. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.